Hey Siri, what's the meaning of phrasal verb?
Phrasal verb means an idiomatic phrase consisting of a verb and another element, typically either an adverb, as in break down, or a preposition, for example see to, or a combination of both, such as look down on.
Look down on. I like that. That's actually a really good phrasal verb. To look down on someone means you think you are better than someone. Like, for example, just because she's a waitress, you don't need to look down on her. As a matter of fact, you don't need to look down on anyone. So, to look down on someone means you think you are better than that person. And no one is better than anyone. So, we should never think that we're more important or we're higher and superior to somebody else. So, never look down on anyone. And that was the meaning of phrasal verb. A phrasal verb is a verb that has an element, like a preposition or an adverb after it, and the meaning of a phrasal verb is completely different than the verb that's used in the phrasal verb. Like the meaning of look, looking at something, right? To see something, but to look for something means to search for something, or to look down on someone means to think you are better than someone. And that's today's topic, phrasal verbs. I'm going to explain 26 phrasal verbs, A to Z, the most commonly used phrasal verbs with their definitions and meanings and examples. Let's get started. 26 commonly used phrasal verbs, A to Z. Native speakers use a lot of phrasal verbs on a daily basis. Like even if you're texting your friend, say, "Hey, you wanna play soccer this afternoon?" And maybe your friend says, "Oh yeah, definitely. If you go play soccer, just hit me up. Hit me up." Hit me up. Hit me up means what? It doesn't mean hit me up, right? It doesn't mean hit me. It means let me know. Let me know. Hit me up. Hit me up. And if you don't understand that phrasal verb, then you need to look it up. Or if you're having a conversation with your American friend and he or she says that, hit me up later, it might become awkward if you didn't understand it. Phrasal verbs are used in daily conversations, in movies, in everywhere. So, very important. Let's get to it. Number 1, act up. Act up. Act up. Act up. Act up has two main meanings. It has more meanings, I think, but these two are very common. To behave badly, misbehave, not to function properly for an engine. But to behave badly, that's for people, not for engines. Like children or people in general sometimes. Like if your student is acting up, right? Example, one of my students was acting up today. I need to talk to her parents. I need to talk to her mother because she was acting up. That means she was misbehaving. She was not acting properly. She was behaving badly. Or my car's engine is acting up. I need to go to a mechanic. So my car's engine is maybe not sounding very good, and looks like it's going to break down, which is the next idiom. So if your car's engine is acting up, that means it sounds weird. It's sounding weird, and you need to show it to a mechanic. It's also not good if your children are acting up. So, number 2, breakdown. Breakdown has several different meanings. I'm going to explain 3 of them. 1 is to stop functioning or working. So if your engine keeps acting up, then it might eventually break down. Or you can say, I think my car will break down soon because the engine is acting up. Second meaning of breakdown is to analyze information in order to make it easier to understand or manage. Like you can use that for mathematics. Like, this equation is complicated, we need to break it down. Or you can use it for language. Like, this grammar is difficult, or this sentence is difficult. Can you please break it down? Let's break it down. It'll be easier for you to understand. The third meaning of breakdown is to lose control of your emotions when you are in a state of stress, shock, or like if you receive a bad news, if someone tells you a really bad news, like someone died or something, maybe you will break down. That means you get really stressed emotionally, and maybe you start crying. Another example is, I broke down in tears when I heard of the passing of my aunt. Number 3, call off. Call off. Call off or call off. Call off means to cancel something, to cancel an event or a meeting. Not canceling a subscription of your Netflix account. You can't say call off. No, it's more for meetings and events in your calendar. If you call it off, that means you canceled it. Another example, or you can say, a good example would be, they had to call off the wedding because of COVID-19, or they had to call off the wedding. Maybe something happened between the couple before the wedding and they wanted to split. They didn't want to get married, so they called off the wedding, which is not good. Number 4, catch up. Catch up. To catch up. Not ketchup, right? Ketchup, not the sauce. Catch up, not ketchup. So to catch up means to get to the same point or level as another person, or the level or point that you're supposed to be, like in work or school, etc. For example, I had a great 2-week vacation overseas, but it's going to take me forever to catch up on everything. Like at work, school, that means to get back to your level because now you are behind. Or maybe you guys are, you and your friends are hiking and your friends are running, right? Running behind you, or they're walking very fast and you say, can you guys slow down? I can't catch up with you guys if you keep running that fast, or if you keep walking that fast. So catch up. I need to catch up. Number 5, drop off. Drop off. To drop off something or someone means to leave something or someone at a specific location. So maybe you give a ride, you're driving and you give a ride to your friend to his house, and he says, you can drop me off right here. You can drop me off right here at the corner. You don't need to get to the driveway. Just drop me off right here. So to leave someone at a specific location. Or the mailman dropped off the package at my neighbor's door. Sometimes delivery people do that. They mistakenly drop off a package or delivery at a wrong location or at a wrong address. Number 6, end up. This is a good one. End up means to reach or come to a place, condition, or situation that was not planned or expected, or maybe was expected and you ended up in that condition. And the condition sometimes can be negative or positive. So basically it means to reach, or to reach a condition or a state or a level, or to reach an outcome or a result, whether negative or positive. For example, he didn't want to end up like his father. That means he didn't want to reach or get into the same. He didn't want to reach he didn't want to end up like his father means he didn't want to reach at the same condition, or he didn't want to get into the same condition or outcome like his father. Maybe his father had some issues or problems or became really, really poor because of certain decisions, and he says I didn't want to end up like my father. I didn't want to end up like my father. That means I didn't want to reach his condition or become like him in a certain area. Or she ended up a rich woman. It basically means she became a rich woman. Maybe she kept trying, and she ended up becoming a really rich woman. Or he kept getting into trouble until he ended up in jail. So that was like the end result. So end up. Or you can even say we kept hiking and hiking until we ended up in a small town and we stayed the night in that town. Ended up. Or I ended up, like, you can also say I ended up not going to the party because I was really tired. That means I came to a point that I didn't go. Maybe something happened or you didn't want to go. So ended up. It's a good word. 7. Fit in. To fit in. You know, like the word fit. If something fits you, like a shirt or pants, that means it fits perfectly. It's the same size as your size. So, but to fit in means to try to be accepted by a group of people or seen as one of them, not like an outsider, not like a stranger. So if you fit in, that means you're trying to, or you become try to be accepted, or you become accepted in a group or a small community, a neighborhood, a classroom, something like that, to fit in. So you can say after they moved to California, Paula had trouble fitting in with the new students in the new school. So fitting in, maybe their behavior was different. So especially for kids, it's hard sometimes fitting in. Or you go to a different country and you say, in the beginning, I had trouble fitting in. I had trouble being accepted or being looked at as the same group. But later, it was fine. So fitting in. Number 8, get by. Get by. Get by means to manage, to do something with great difficulty, to struggle to do something. You manage to do it. That means you can do it, but with great difficulty. Get by. Usually they use this for financial situations. For example, he had just enough money to get by when he started his business. So in the beginning, it was rough. It was difficult. He had just enough money to get by. That means to maintain his business, to pay his bills, to pay his rent, and he didn't make any profit. He had only enough money to get by. Or he had a job, but it was paying him just enough to get by. So he had to look for another job. Number 9, go over. And we usually use this with something. So to go over something. To go over something means to review something, like a document, a file, or paperwork, something like that. So, for example, can you go over the files that I send you? I want to make sure everything is correct and there are no mistakes before I finalize the contract. So to go over something, or let's go over it together. Number 9, get along. Get along. Get along. Get along means to have a friendly relationship with someone. Not a lot of arguments. The relationship is good. I get along pretty well with my neighbor. I get along pretty well with my girlfriend or with my roommate. She doesn't get along with her mother-in-law. That's a problem, right? Especially with married couples and stuff. It's funny. That means their relationship is not very friendly. Sometimes they get into fights or they get into arguments. They don't like each other very well. Or we get along pretty well. Number 11, hold on. Hold on. Well, one meaning of hold on is like, hold on. That means wait a second. Hold on. But I'm going to explain 2 other meanings of hold on. One is to hold on something tightly and carefully so that you don't drop it or you don't fall. Like, hold on tight. Hold on tight, everyone. The boat is getting ready to go. That means make sure that you hold on tight to whatever you're holding on and make sure you're not going to fall. Another meaning of hold on is to endure or keep going in difficult circumstances, to persevere, to keep going, to keep fighting and not giving up. Without giving up. We have to hold on and keep moving forward. Or you can say, it's difficult holding on. That's another meaning of holding on. Number 12, identify with. Identify with has several different meanings, but here are 3 of them. To identify with someone or something is like, the first one is to think of something as being the same as something else. Like, it is a mistake to identify being healthy with being thin. Thin, Thin. A lot of people identify being healthy with being thin, but actually, it's not always the case. So be careful and don't identify being healthy with being thin. Or don't try to be thin so that people think you're healthy or so that you will think you're healthy, because no. Being healthy is one thing. Being thin is something else. Another meaning of identify with is to think of someone as being very closely associated with something. Like, she has always been identified with the civil rights movement. You identify someone's personality with something, or we can identify Steve Jobs as one of the best innovators of our time, or we can identify him with, the definition of innovation because he changed the world, right? Another meaning of identify with is to feel that you are similar to someone and you can understand them or their situation. So it's kind of like to empathize with someone. Like, readers can identify with the hero of the novel, or I can identify with her because I've been in similar situations. Kind of like walking in someone else's shoes. But that's for difficult situations. Usually to identify with someone, it's not always for negative things. So like, you identify with someone, that means you have similar ways of thinking, or you relate to their situation. Number 13, jack up. This is a good one, actually, to jack up. To jack up means to increase the price or the cost of something by a large amount. They jacked up the price of toilet paper and hand sanitizers, right? This is a true story right now, right? They jacked up the prices, or they jacked up the price of oil. Not yet, hopefully no, but number 14, keep up. Keep up. To keep up with something, or to keep up, means to move or progress at the same rate as someone else, or something else. So it's kind of similar to catch up, but to catch up is like when you're behind, but to keep up, that means you didn't get behind, you keep up the pace. That means you are keeping up your level. Technology is advancing very fast. I can't keep up with it. I just can't keep up. It's too much. It's advancing very fast. I can't keep up. I still have an iPhone 4S. I just can't keep up. No, I'm kidding. But that's the meaning of keep up. Number 15, lay off. Lay off. Lay off. Lay off means to discharge a worker temporarily, or maybe permanently because of a shortage of work. So it's not like firing someone. If you fire someone, means maybe you didn't like this person, or so you don't want this person to work for you. So you don't like that person, or maybe you had some problems with this person or this employee, so you don't want him or her to work for you anymore, or some problem happened, so you fire them. So that's fire. But to lay off someone, it means you are forced. It's a difficult situation. You are forced to let go of some employees because you just don't have the money to pay them, or there are no more work for them. Especially right now with COVID-19, this is a good example. 2 major airlines had to lay off over 35,000 employees last month due to COVID-19. Or I got laid off from my job because of the pandemic. So I got laid off. Layyoff. And if you say I got laid off, that's Laidoff. Number 16, move out. Move out. To leave your or someone else's place of residence and go somewhere else. Especially when you live in that place. It's not like leaving a place, you're visiting someone and you leave that person. No. To move out, that means you are living in that place and you are leaving and you're moving somewhere else. Many American teenagers move out of their parents' house after 18 or after they go to college. Her roommates were toxic, so she had to move out. She had to get out of there. 17, name after. Name after, if you name someone after someone or something else, you give them the same name. For example, their son, you can say, their son was born the same day the president got elected, so they named him after the president. Or, yeah, that's a good example. Number 18, open up. Open up. Open up. If you open up to somebody, it means you share your feelings with them. I thank you for letting me open up to you. That means thank you for letting me express my feelings. I was very sad and I wanted to just express my feelings, and you were very easy. You were a great listener and it was so easy for me to open up. So usually for people that you trust, like your family, your best friend, your boyfriend, your girlfriend. So open up. So that's one meaning of open up. Or if the president opens up the border or opens up the country, it means it becomes easier for other people to travel to the country. Or you can also use it for the economy. They need to open up the economy. Millions of people are losing their jobs. So open up the borders, open up the economy. Number 19, put off. To put off means to postpone something until a later time. They are thinking about putting off the wedding. They are not calling off the wedding. They are just putting off the wedding. Or for homework, you can say, I always put off my homework until the last minute, or I always put off my assignment until the last minute. We're all guilty of that, right? I've done that so many times. I always put off stuff. Number 19, rip off. Rip off. To cheat someone, especially by charging them too much money for something. Sometimes tourists worry about getting ripped off while traveling to a new country. Rip off. Or, that guy really ripped me off. He gave me a really crappy car for a lot of money. He sold me a really bad car for a lot of money. Ripped me off. Ripped me off. Or you can also use it as a noun. Like you say, oh my God, that's a rip off. That means it's not worth that much money. It's a rip off. Don't buy it. Number 20, turn down. To turn down something means you reject something that was offered to you or that was proposed to you, like a contract or a deal, a job offer, something like that. You turn it down. That means you decline it or you reject it. After carefully thinking about it, he decided to turn down the offer for the head of sales position. Or before he became a best-selling author, he got turned down so many times by many publishers. 21, take off. Take off has a few different meanings, again, like to remove clothing from your body, off your body, right? You take off your clothes, right? You take off your hat, you take off your glasses. Or to leave for a journey, to leave a place. I don't know where he went. He just got into his car and he just took off. Or you can also use it for airplanes. The airplane took off. That means the plane left the ground. She was very happy that she finally got home and took off her shoes. They had been hurting her all day. Number 22, use up. Use up. If you use up something, you use all of it and have nothing left of it. Example, you used up all the milk last night. We have no milk for breakfast. Don't use up all the battery. Like if you're going camping and you say, don't use up all the battery in the light, or don't use up all the fuel for the generator. Don't use up all the fuel. We're going to need more tomorrow. 25, work out. To work out. If you say workout, that's a noun, like exercise. That's one meaning of workout. Let's go work out. As a noun, the stress is on a different syllable. You say workout. I did a really good workout today. That means I did a really good exercise session. So workout. But as a verb, you say work out. Work out. Two meanings of work out here. The first one is to have a good or specified result, or to be successful, or to have a really good result. I really hope your business plan will work out. I really hope your business plan will work out. Or another meaning of work out is to plan or devise something in detail. To plan something in detail. Like they had to work out a plan for the tournament, for the soccer tournament indoors on rainy days. So because the whole tournament was planned for outdoors or to be played outdoors, but now they had to work out a plan in case some days rain so that they play indoors, inside. So they had to plan, they had to make a specific plan, a detailed plan in case it rains, then they need to have a backup or a specific plan to play indoors. Or they had to work out a plan to work online, to work remotely during the pandemic. So work out a plan means create a plan in a very detailed and specific way. Number 26, and this is the last one, zone out. To zone out means to lose consciousness or concentration, usually for a brief moment, for a short period of time. Like maybe your friend is talking to you, but you didn't hear him or her because you zoned out. I just zoned out for a second. I'm sorry, what did you say? Who called you? Who called you today? Who called you on the phone today? I'm sorry, guys. I just zoned out for a second. We all zone out. Like sometimes you're at the traffic light in your car and you're just thinking of something maybe, and the light is already green, but you zoned out and you didn't see the light. And oh, it's green, and someone honks the horn behind you. You're like, oh my God, I zoned out for a second. Zoned out. And that brings us to the end of this episode. I hope you made it to the end of this episode, because sometimes, when you're listening to an audio lesson or a podcast, halfway you give up. So if you didn't give up, this is another phrasal verb. Give up, to quit. If you kept going and you didn't give up till the end, you didn't quit, you didn't stop listening to me. If you liked this episode, share it with your friends on social media, on WhatsApp, send it as a text. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.